If you're thinking about buying your first home, I'm sure many people right now are saying, don't do it. The market's gonna fall apart. But if you're a new home buyer, oh, you've won the lottery. And why, may you ask? I lived through 2007, 2008 with the housing crisis from hell, but there were some big winners, and one of the biggest winners were first-time home buyers. And I'm gonna tell you that a lot of people are probably gonna try to talk you out of it because they think the sky is falling and the market's gonna go to poop and that you're gonna end up buying something that you're never gonna make money on. Well, if you could meet some of the people that bought the house in 2007 when they bought their first home and they've sold it just recently, they made a mint. So don't listen to the haters. It's a great time to buy a house. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is go ahead and gather up your down payment. But if you have a good job and it's stable right now and you haven't been furloughed or laid off work, if you have the ability, you may be able to qualify for zero financing, and your lender could talk to you about that. With that being said, in 2007, the housing market was kind of not so great. And the federal government gave programs out to help people with their first time buying a home. If you want to hold off a little while before purchasing a house to see if the government's going to do that, you can do that. But I'm just going to say this. There's one caveat to that. Right now, the interest rates are gold. They're so good right now. They're even better than they were in 2007. So don't wait too long and wait for the interest rates to go up. Go ahead and get yourself pre-approved for a mortgage. That's your first step. So how do you do that? Well, in today's day and age, believe it or not, you got the internet. You're gonna need your W-2s, your pay stubs, and your bank records. I know that with the internet, it can be kind of scary because you don't want to put that information, especially since this has your social security number and that kind of stuff on there. Believe it or not, there is old technology that works for your security even better. And most lenders know this. Fax your documents. Crazy as that sounds, but you can fax them. I'm sure you have an old fax machine like I do. You may have to find the instructions. You probably lost them like I did. But just look up the model number and it will tell you exactly how to fax your documents. This is going to be the most secure way to get your information over to that lender. Cybercrime is one of those things that has gone up exponentially. So I understand if you're a little hesitant of just going ahead and throwing that right over on the email. Once you've gotten those papers faxed over to your lender, the next thing they're gonna do is they're gonna look over your credit score and they're gonna look over your income. And they're gonna tell you your debt to income ratio and how much house you can afford. And they will discuss all the payment options that you can use, whether it is zero financing, whether it's VA, FHA, or any other kind of conventional loan. They'll explain each and every one of them so you know what kind of loan works best for your income. Not only that, make sure you ask them about any kind of programs that might be out that will save you a lot more money in the long run. I do want to give you a word of warning though. With past bailouts, they have given people a good sum of money. Sometimes they required you to pay it back. Sometimes they called it taxable income. You want to wait for the bailout that you don't have to pay back. That came later down the road. So kind of keep your eye out for that, if it actually even happens at all. The next step is to find a real estate agent. Now this one's gonna be a little trickier because normally you just call up a real estate agent, you ask their credentials, you look for things online about them, and that's how you would find your real estate agent. Well, you don't have to be computer savvy to get a deal done these days. When you're talking to your real estate agent, please make sure that they understand how to text message, how to email, how to do electronic signatures, and how to video homes. All these things are very basic. Some agents are still a little bit behind the times. I'm not computer savvy. Everything can be electronically signed. We all know how to use our cell phones to do virtual walkthrough tours. And this is another word of warning. If you do find a house online and you really do like it, do not call the agent that is on the listing. Call your real estate agent. I know you think you're probably doing the right thing by talking to that real estate agent, but sometimes you let up some information you didn't want to. For instance, how much you got pre-qualified for. Don't give out any kind of information right now to any other real estate agent. You only talk to your real estate agent, so that way you don't let any secrets slip out. So how do you shop for a home now? Well, you're gonna do it just like you always did before. You start off by looking on the internet. You're gonna go through the listings, find ones in your price range, but don't go crazy. If you can't afford a house that's $50,000 more than your budget, don't be looking at houses that are $50,000 over your budget. Maybe 10, but not 50. Next, you're gonna pick out the houses that you really like. You're gonna pick out no more than 5 houses. And that's when you're gonna call your real estate agent. And you're gonna ask them if they could do a video walkthrough tour of your house. Whether that's through a FaceTime call, Zoom seems to be really popular right now, or even just them videoing the house. You can have them walk right through the front door as if you're going in there. A lot of listing agents already have virtual tours that they have put online, and even some real estate agents have these 3D tours. They are called Matterport tours, where that gives you the whole floor plan and you can walk through each and every single room. They give me massive vertigo and they make me want to vomit, but at least you could get a good idea of what the house looks like. And those Matterport tours are definitely very efficient when it comes to that. A great walkthrough tour is the best way because of the fact that you can see how the light comes into a room. A lot of times, and I'm guilty of it myself, that when you're in the editing room, you can make a room seem lighter and brighter than it really is. So if you ask your agent to go into the house and see it, let's just say midday, you can see how light and bright the house is, or if it's just like a dark dungeon, like my house is. Kind of dark, I'm not gonna lie. Now you've picked out the house. If you do not feel comfortable with going to visit the house, you can still make an offer on it. I know that sounds insane, but I've done it actually many times with people that have been out of town. They found the house that they like. I did the whole video tour for them. They were able to see everything, so they were ready to put in an offer after I sent them the comparables of everything else that's sold in the neighborhood. Make sure you ask your real estate agent for the comparables that have sold in that area recently, not like 3 months before all this happened, like right now. And if they don't have any, you know you have some negotiation room. With that being said, this is your time to put in an offer and put in an offer that is fair. But remember, the ball is still in your court because of the fact that there's not going to be a lot of buyers out there right now, especially right now. And you can make an offer that will get the sellers out of their home, which they'll be thankful for. And secondly of all, you get yourself a good deal. Ta-da! You made an offer and they accepted. Congratulations. Now what? Well, it's time for the home inspection. And in this day and time, believe it or not, home inspections are still happening. And I've actually done this previously before all of this happened with many clients, is that I walked in as a real estate agent with the home inspector and videoed the whole entire process. And that way the home buyers were able to see everything that was going on. He could make all of his comments that were going to be in the comment section of his inspection report, but you could see everything that he went and looked at as well. So that way you know that they're going through the house and inspecting everything that you need them to inspect. You can pay these inspectors online and they will send you a report, a PDF online as well. So you can be able to negotiate if there's anything that's wrong with the house. And you have proof that everything was inspected with a video, which is really good too, because sometimes the home sellers will say, I don't know what you're talking about. You can show them exactly where that spot was, and they don't have to act all flaky like, I didn't know that was lifting up. They know. I promise you, they knew it was lifting up. Now, after your inspection and you're satisfied with the inspection, before you put in your inspection request, I want you to make sure that you go to the house at this time. This is one of the times that you're gonna have to kind of bite the bullet, put the mask on, head over to the house, and be as safe as possible when you're walking through the home. I think it's the perfect way for you to know if you really do like the house. Most contracts here in Louisiana give you a 10-day inspection period. You want to have that inspection done right away within those first 10 days. I'm saying within the first 3 days. That way when the inspection's over and you've gotten the report, which is on day 4, you can go over to the house and take a closer look at it to make sure that's exactly what you wanted. That way you'll know if it smells funny, or if you really don't like the backyard, or if the neighbors are really loud. This way you can kind of see what's going on with the house that you didn't see in a video. You've gotten your home inspected, you negotiated the repairs, everything's going great. Well, your real estate agent will tell you right now this is the time for the appraisal. Your lender will tell you that you're going to have to hand over a check for about $500, but you can pay your appraisal without having to meet anybody, because again, we're social distancing. You go ahead and pay that appraisal. Sometimes even some lenders will have you pay the appraisal at the closing table, which will even work out even better for you, especially during these times of social distancing. I haven't heard yet that houses haven't been making appraisal, but I'm sure that with all this stuff that's going on in the world, you're going to hear it more and more. So you may have negotiated a deal that you and the sellers were very happy with, but the appraisal comes in and it's short. this actually still works out in your favor, because they're going to have to either A, reduce the house to the price that their appraisal says it is, or B, they're going to have to put their house on the market and wait for another buyer to come through. Sellers at this point are kind of a little bit more desperate than normal. So that's just another win for you as a buyer. If you get an appraisal and it comes in a little low, don't think you have a house that's worth less than what you thought it was. It means that you got a better deal. It may not be so great for the sellers, but it's going to be really great for you as a first-time home buyer. Again, in a few years, when all of this is blown over, when we're talking about, oh my gosh, can you believe what happened in 2020? And you bought a house, you're gonna be the winner because you're gonna be making money. Now you're done with the appraisal. You got yourself even a better deal than you thought you were going to. You appraised for less. Congrats. But now what's next? Now is the time for you to do your final walkthrough. This is when you're going to go in the house and make sure it's in the exact same condition as it was when you purchased it. If there's a bunch of stuff that's going on in the house that is wrong in comparison to when you purchased it, plus you'll have a video to prove that, you're going to negotiate that again before you sign anything on the dotted line. I've seen it where people did get kind of bent out of shape, like things like the TV clamp on the wall, or maybe it was a little dirty, you know, a little hand cleaning that needed to be done. That's kind of being petty. Let that stuff go. You got yourself a really heck of a good deal. Nothing a little paint and a little putty can't fix. Plus, it's your first house. You want to do a little extra stuff. If you got a really good deal, just give the sellers a little bit of a break. Now, with that being said, if they've done a bunch of stuff where there's holes in the wall, or the floorboards that were weak and wobbly earlier are now lifting completely off the ground, and you negotiated for those things in your inspection report, that is when you can hold up closing until either A, they give you money, or B, they fix those things. A lot of times if you find those things and they're in a big rush, they'll just go ahead and throw a bunch of money at you, so you can even take that off of your purchase price of your house, which kind of works out in your favor. But if it's a big problem, like those floorboards, which can be a big hassle, you can hold up the closing altogether until it's repaired. So what happens on the day that the house is supposed to close? Well, every state has been doing things a little bit different. Some people have done virtual closings where they basically did everything online. In Louisiana, they've done it a little bit different at each title office, where they've separated the home buyers from the home sellers. Everybody signs at different times, everybody using social distancing. But whatever your state is, they're going to have a new protocol when it comes to social distancing and closing your house. But all in all, you're still going to be able to buy a house. Yep, you signed on the dotted line and now you got yourself a house. And before you even walk through that door, do you know what I want you to do? Is get yourself a bucket of bleach and some hand towels and a nice mask on your face and clean the heck out of it. I don't know where those sellers have been, and neither do you. So clean the house from top to bottom so you can be rest assured that once you place your items in there, they're your germs, your viruses, and they can stay with the sellers in your bucket. Congratulations, you bought yourself a home. I've walked you through each and every step when it comes to buying your first home, and you can do it virtually just like they have been doing way before all this nonsense started. And if anybody tries to talk you out of buying your first home right now, trust me when I tell you, it's crazy. You've basically won the first time home buying lottery. 1, the interest rates are low, super, mega, ridiculously low. 2, the inventory is going to be high. There's not going to be many people buying a house. And 3, the sellers are going to be more desperate to sell. Terrible for sellers, but fantastic for first-time home buyers. They'll even throw in the fridge at this point. So if you want to watch some more videos about buying your home, I have plenty of them right over here. My name is Kristina Smallhorn, your real estate whisperer, and I tell you all this because you matter.